Excuse me. All right, good evening. We are now joined by UCLA student athletes Kennedy Burke and Michaela Onyenware, as well as head coach Corey Close. Coach will start us off with an opening statement, and then we will open up to questions for the student athletes first. Coach?
First of all, I'd like to give a thanks to all the people of the University of Maryland that hosted this weekend. And I do not say this all the time. They have been incredibly kind, hospitable, professional, and hardworking. And so I really want to say thank you to all the people behind the scenes that make this a great event. I also want to give a ton of credit to the University of Maryland's women's basketball team. I have such a deep respect for them, and I think I talked about it yesterday in the press conference, but they're just an excellent basketball program, and they're not just a basketball team, they're a basketball program, which is what we seek to have in LA. And so just really, this means a lot because we have such a high respect for their program and what they do. We knew it would come down to a rebounding was going to be the biggest thing, and we struggled at times. I thought they did a really good job of finding their post players, and we played several different defenses and tried to mix up how we played, and we didn't have an answer for their inside game for a long time. We finally brought someone in to just double and sag off and try to make some other people touch it, and I thought that was a turning point in the game, but we're really, really happy to do what we do. The last thing I'll say is that sometimes you have a group of young women that teach your heart as a coach more than you have a chance to teach theirs, and this group has done that for me. We start out the year 3-5, and our word for the year is expectant, but sometimes I needed to look in their eyes to be expectant. Sometimes they just needed to teach me by the way that they chose to come in and grow and give to each other day after day when they weren't being rewarded. And I think that's the key. And so I'm just really thankful to be the head coach of this group of young women and to work with an incredible assistant coaches and support staff. And I feel like I've grown as a coach this year because I've been able to be around them.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now open it up to questions for the student athletes first. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll get you a microphone. Start in the second row on the inside aisle.
Kennedy, the key to this game was your offensive rebounding, not necessarily you, but the whole team. Mm-hmm. What was going on there, and was it just simply, want that got you guys 27 offensive rebounds?
It definitely was. I think on the rebounding side, we wanted it more, and it showed on the court, and that was one of the keys of the game, and we executed that really well.
We'll go to the third row on the inside aisle.
Michaela, you finished with 30 points, but the team had 27 offensive rebounds in comparison to 29 field goals converted. When you're given those extra opportunities, whether it's you or whether it's other teammates, how much easier is it for you to be able to get into some offensive sets, to be able to reset and then quiet down the crowd on the road?
Yeah, I think offensive rebounds has been one of our strengths since the beginning of the season. I think that we really harp on that in practice, and we have great people who really navigate the ball off the rim. And I think that just gives our guards confidence to shoot the ball because they know that we're going to get the rebound and we're going to get extra possessions. And that's really important in games like this when we win by 2 or 3 possessions. And this is a great team that we just won against. So those extra possessions are really, really special.
Come up to the front row here.
Michaela, talk about going against their number one. She's long, mobile, active, and the chore that must have been.
Yeah, she's big, and I mean, just props to her. She's young, but I think that she's going to be a great player here at Maryland, and as she continues to grow. But yeah, it's hard to go against people who are taller than me, but I think that's something that I've been doing all year. I'm a little bit undersized at my position, but I just have to find ways to score in different ways, whether that's going around people, elevating over people, and things like that.
We'll go to the third row, second seat on the inside.
For Michaela and KB, it looked like you guys were very emotional and sometimes even frustrated out there, especially in the third quarter. How were you guys able to turn that around going into the fourth quarter and be able to stay calm and pull off the upset?
Coach mentioned just to pause and gain clarity, and we did that. We had to look each other in the eye and say, we've got this, we've been in situations like this, and it showed.
Yeah, we've been in games where it's like we went triple overtime. We went overtime how many times? We've been in such crazy games this year. I think that's prepared us for moments like this. And, yeah, we got frustrated and emotions got high just because we all want to win this game so bad. But I think that once we got in the huddle, it was easy to just, like Kennedy said, pause, gain clarity, and realize that we're okay. We're in an okay position at this point.
We'll go back to the third row on the aisle.
Similar to yesterday, Maryland goes on a little bit of a run there in the third quarter. What's the message in the timeout, specifically that was called like 50 seconds into the third quarter, right when Maryland had retaken the lead on an and one and the crowd's erupting. What was the message from Coach Close?
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
at that point, the momentum had shifted a little bit. They had went on like a 6-0 run, and we just had to, again, like you said, like pause and gain clarity. Like, yes, they went on their little run, but that didn't stop what we had. We knew that we still had to defend. We were getting what we wanted on offense, honestly. So it really wasn't anything on offense that we had to do, but we had to get stops, and I think that was the message, basically the rest of the game.
Yeah, and then there's a segment where we didn't really take care of the ball, and we were kind of like a days ago with it, but we decided to change it because we've been through a situation like this before, and we executed it.
Come back to the front row here.
Burke, excuse me, what was the impact of you guys changing defenses like your coach noted, man, sagging man, zone? Do you think it put them on their heels?
Yeah, I think defense is what we're known for, and just being able to focus on that, it transferred to the offensive end. So
We'll go to the second row all the way on the inside.
So going back to the Pac-12 championship, you guys lost by 5 to Oregon. Now you're headed to Sweet 16. What was the biggest, I guess the fuel from that to help you guys now?
Yeah, Oregon is a great team. I mean, I think that, like I said before, like the Pac-12 prepares us a lot for games like this. Like we go day in and day out, we're going against top 10 competition all the time. So I think games like that teach us that we can. I mean, we lost by 5, but we can compete with the best of the best, and I think that gives us confidence, and it shows us that we are just as good as we think we can be. And although we have things to fix and always to progress from, we are that good at this point.
We'll go to the second row on the inside.
Now that you mentioned best of the best, you know who's coming up next.
Yep.
UConn, does a game like this and the way you've been playing give you confidence that you can knock off the one of the the biggest team in the country?
yeah, I think the biggest thing is to not focus on them, but to focus on us. And Coach has mentioned that throughout the entire year. If we stay composed through everything that we do, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to battling against UConn. They're a great basketball program, so I'm just happy to see that we moved on, and we're happy to face them.
Any additional questions for the student athletes? Ladies, thank you very much, and good luck moving forward.
Thank you, guys.
The UCLA locker room will remain open until 10 p.m. sharp. A reminder that the Maryland locker room is open until 9:49. We now take questions for head coach Corey Close. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we will get you a microphone. Starting the third row on the aisle.
Coach, what does it mean to you, or perhaps can you explain the importance of the 27 offensive rebounds? You've averaged 16.9, but you had 17 coming into the locker room after the first half. Is that an effort stat? Is it really coachable? Do you just tell the team, like, go get it? Like, what are you...
Go get it, girls. No, I think it is absolutely an effort thing. And, I have to give credit to LaJaune Drummer, Michaela Onyenware first. And then I think Kennedy Burke really stepped up in that way. But all year long, we've been in the top 10 in the country in terms of offensive rebounding percentages. And that's been a huge piece for us. And we're not a great shooting team. So, like, we don't rely on the three-point shot. We don't have shooters like some of the ones that Maryland has. But we have to go get other misses, and we have to be confident jump shooters. And the way that you're a confident jump shooter is that you know that if you happen to miss, that someone's got your back. And we talk about trying to get at least 45% of our misses to get a second shot opportunity. And I don't know how the percentages worked out yet from the stat sheet, but that's our standard. We hold ourselves to that standard. In fact, all throughout the Pac-12 season, if we get the right amount of passion plays in a game, which are non-statistical categories that we believe reflect our passion and perseverance in a game, and we get our rebounding percentages, they get an extra day off. So that's something that we have emphasized all year long. But I don't think you can underestimate the effort, because they're not rebounds that are just coming to big people. They're relentless out-of-area rebounds, and those are all heart and determination, and I will do whatever it takes for the sake of our team. And that's what those young women have shown.
We'll go to the second row on the aisle.
Coach, 4 straight trips to the Sweet 16. You've done it with different teams, different players. What does this one mean to you after, as we talked yesterday, losing 2 WNBA stars and starting 3 and 5?
Well, I haven't seen all of them, but I happened to have a moment that I came in and I saw Jordan Canada's text already from Poland. And she said, Coach, I'm just so proud of this team. I've stayed up and watched almost every game. And she said, we're not just a basketball team, we're a basketball program. And for that to come from your player that was, a first-round draft pick last year, and she's so excited for these young women, and for her to recognize that we're really not just, we're not a team that just is trying to win games. We're trying to be an elite basketball program, but that makes a difference for life beyond basketball. And that we really believe that culture wins. And when you establish a culture that is deeper than any one individual, and everybody, including myself, including every staff member, it is more important to impact lives and to give them life habits that are going to be with them long after the ball goes flat. And I really trust that those same life habits are also the ones that bring you to peak performance. And that's what we're trying to do. And it's really a byproduct of character. It's a byproduct of being willing to give and to grow every single day. And what I told the team before the game was, I just asked two things, and it's be totally present where your feet are. All the anxiousness comes from worrying about the past or worrying about the future. You can be at your best when you're absolutely sold out to the moment that you're in, and then to finish absolutely empty. And there's a young woman who's an incredible, she lives around here actually, Elena Beard, who came and spoke to our team a couple of years ago. And I told this story to them before the game. She said, you can surrender the outcome when you know you've done everything under your control to master your craft and to selflessly give to each other. And she said she told the story of going to two back-to-back WNBA fifth games and in the finals, and one she won and one she lost. But she said she had peace either way and contentment because she had given everything to mastering her craft and to giving to her teammates. And that's what I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of the way that they've grown in their character, and I think it's what we saw on the court is a byproduct of that.
We'll go to the third row, second seat.
Coach, how special is it that this happens to fall on the 41st anniversary of the UCLA's first national championship?
Yeah.
And kind of what does that mean to the program?
And against Maryland, yeah. And I was just done with the radio, and I'm walking across, and the two people that I saw just smiling ear to ear and going like this were Denise Curry and Debbie Halliday, and both were on that team. And Debbie Halliday's, her maiden name is Willie. And to have those two people be the most supportive and the most exuberant, Debbie's on our staff, and Denise has come with us every single year. And I just, it means a lot. And I think it means even more to me because, I think about all of you sitting here. And you wouldn't have been here like this, 30 years ago, and to what they did, the trail they blazed, that we get to walk in. I mentioned that yesterday, but I am deeply humbled by that, Joy, that I get to be a part of the program with so much history. But they have been also the biggest celebrators. Annie Myers as well. I've already heard from Billy Moore, and all these people that have this incredible history, and they have been with us for the entire journey, not just the destination of what we got to accomplish today, and we're not done yet. But they've been with us in the entire journey because they believe in our mission. And so it's a long answer to a short question. I apologize, but honestly, it really hits my heart in a deep way, and I'm very humbled to be a part of the trail that they blazed.
We'll come up to the front row here.
Coach, are you pleased with your varied zone offense attack today? You got it to the middle, baseline. You drove baseline, kicked out, stick backs, fast break. You really attacked it in multiple ways.
Well, it's interesting, though, because they went player to player in the second half, and that's when they made their run. And I was pleased overall. I thought we got good shots. I think definitely my concerns at halftime were all about defense, how to keep the ball, adjustments in our post defense, and how to keep the ball out of the post. And I really wasn't too worried about our zone offense. But then they come out, and they come player to player, and they really pressure us, and they started doing so. They don't like to switch screens, and they started switching to try to keep Japreece Dean in front, and I thought she was a major key. She really changed the momentum of the game. When they took the momentum in the third quarter, I thought Japreece Dean getting to the free throw line, getting into the paint, and creating for other people, that was a major turning point for us. But I give them credit because I thought if they went player to player, we would really be able to find the matchups that we want, and it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So credit their defense on that because I actually thought we were more effective against their zone than we were against their player to player.
Go to the second row on the inside.
I'm pretty sure I know your thoughts on UConn. They'll probably reflect what your players said, but it's in Albany. Do you plan to go back and then come back, or are you going to stick in?
Yeah,
East Coast?
we're going to stay right here. We're East Coasters now for a little bit. So we're going to fly. We're on spring break right now, so our kids are not in school. And so we're going to go straight to Albany and see what kind of adventure we can find. But, you know, I have this weird thing with UConn and regionals. I don't know what it is. I've been to 3 different places, and every single regional I've been to, except for one, I've met UConn at either the regionals or the regional finals. So I don't know how that works, but somehow I do get a bottle of wine from Gino most of the time. So I'm hoping, Gino, that you have remembered that. Last time we went there, he gave me a bottle of wine, and I returned the favor when he came to L.A. But, you know, what can you say? I mean, we live in the incredible tradition of John Wooden, right? And he is the next, you know, on the women's side, he has been the one with that kind of sustained excellence. So that it's such incredible respect. I love not only the excellence and what they've done in their performance, but I love the way that they play the game. I love that they share the ball. I love that they really do a great job moving it, and everybody gets a chance. I think it's not about running plays. I think their players are taught to play the game. I think he's an excellent coach. And at the same time, like I said yesterday, I think you have to know that still players go and make plays. Shirts don't make plays. You know, the letters across your chest doesn't make plays. You have to make plays together and believe on what's inside of you and how you've trained. And, you know, I think a lot of teams lose to UConn or, you know, that before they even start because they get wrapped up in that. And I think the reality is we have a lot of confidence in what we have built and what we've earned. We have a lot of respect for them, and he's tremendous. What can you say? He's earned that. But, you know, I think that what I love is the parity of the game this year, I think, is more than it's ever been. And you know what it does is it demands your best. And as a coach of the young women that I love and I get to coach, is that that's what you want. You want to be put in situations where you get to compete and that you're in a situation that will demand your best. And you get to rise up to that. And so I'm excited for the opportunity to do that. And we're going to believe greatly in not the shirts that we wear, but the people that are inside those shirts. And we're going to compete our butts off.
We have time for one more question. We'll close it out on the third row on the inside aisle.
By the time that the game sort of was in your hands,
what time was that? I missed that part.
You know,
okay.
maybe like 10
maybe
seconds.
about 8 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, 8 seconds left. What's going through your head? Obviously, you know, it's the 4th straight Sweet 16 for a program with the storied history. What did it mean to you to see your team go 20 for 21 from the free throw line and seemingly just ice the game whenever they were given a chance?
You know, the only thing I was thinking was I'm so thankful for the learning experience that these young women got this year that will be with them the rest of their lives. I really thought that. Like, this will teach them about perseverance and about what you can become, and it's not where you are, but what you can grow into, and what can happen when you commit to something over a long period of time. That's the definition of grit, right? It's passion and perseverance over a long period of time, even when your circumstances don't reflect it. And I'm happy for the grit this team has earned. And I just know that there's going to be a time 10 years from now when they're going to be able to refer to all these things that taught their heart and the habits that they have because of what they've gone through this year. So honestly, that's what I'm in this for. I'm in this to impact people's hearts and to give them tools that are going to be with them long after the ball goes flat. And I'm incredibly competitive. But I never want my competitive drive to overtake the mission of why I do this job.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck in Albany.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for covering our great game.
The UCLA locker room will be open for another 6 minutes and will close at 10 p.m. That concludes tonight's media availabilities. Thank you all for your time.